Welcome to our channel. Today, we're exploring the most controversial airline liveries ever. Before we get started, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to our channel. Airline liveries are more than just paint on an aircraft. They serve as an extension of an airline's brand, communicating everything from its cultural identity to its service philosophy. However, some liveries have stirred significant controversy due to their bold designs, use of sensitive symbolism, or perceived insensitivity. These controversial liveries have sparked debates in the aviation industry and beyond, often becoming a focal point for discussions on branding, politics, and cultural sensitivity. In this video, we explore some of the most controversial airline liveries ever, analyzing what made them stand out and why they caused such a stir. 10. Canada's Flying Kangaroo Livery, 1994. In the mid-1990s, Australian airline Qantas debuted a new livery featuring a large, prominent kangaroo on the tail of its aircraft. While the design was initially intended to reflect Australian pride and heritage, it quickly became a subject of debate. Some Australians found the massive kangaroo design to be over the top and too kitschy for a national carrier, while others felt it was a playful representation of Australia's iconic wildlife. The controversy was fueled by concerns that the livery was too cartoonish for a premium airline and that it detracted from Qantas' image as a sophisticated international carrier. 9. Air New Zealand's All-Black Livery, 2012. Air New Zealand's All-Black Livery was launched in 2012 to coincide with the country's rugby team, the All Blacks, dominating the world stage. The design featured a dramatic black and silver color scheme with a stylized silver fern, a national symbol. While the livery was widely embraced in New Zealand and among rugby fans, it sparked some controversy outside of the country. Critics argued that the livery was too bold and aggressive, potentially alienating non-rugby fans or international travelers who did not have the same connection to the team. 8. Thai Airways Royal Livery, 2003. Thai Airways' decision to introduce a royal livery that incorporated a lavish gold and purple color scheme was met with mixed reactions. The design was meant to reflect the airline's close ties to the Thai monarchy and the country's royal heritage. However, critics argued that the opulent design was too excessive, with some pointing out that it might alienate passengers from countries where such displays of wealth were seen as excessive or out of touch with reality. 7. Egyptair's Pharaoh Livery, 2010. Egyptair unveiled a new livery in 2010 that featured an artistic rendition of a pharaoh on the tail, reflecting Egypt's ancient history and cultural heritage. While the design was intended to be a tribute to Egypt's long-standing legacy, it quickly became controversial due to its perceived lack of sophistication. Many passengers and critics felt that the design was too gaudy, with the pharaoh's image being too cartoonish and overly stylized. 6. Air Canada's Maple Leaf Livery, 2017. Air Canada unveiled a new livery in 2017 that featured a large maple leaf, the national symbol of Canada, prominently displayed on the tail. While the design was intended to evoke national pride and represent the airline's deep connection to Canadian identity, it sparked a backlash for being too simplistic and uninspired. Critics pointed out that the maple leaf, while undeniably iconic, lacked the creativity and innovation expected from a national carrier. 5. TACA's Flying Tacos Livery, 2000. One of the more unusual and humorous airline liveries, TACA Airlines, now part of Avianca, introduced a design in the early 2000s that featured a giant flying taco on the tail of its planes. The livery was part of an effort to inject fun and creativity into the brand, highlighting the airline's Latin American roots and cuisine. However, the design received significant backlash from some quarters, with critics accusing the airline of being culturally insensitive and trivializing Mexican culture. 4. United Airlines Blue Tulip Livery, 1993. United Airlines Blue Tulip Livery, introduced in 1993, is widely regarded as one of the most controversial designs in aviation history. The livery featured a large, stylized blue tulip on the tail, symbolizing the airline's commitment to service and excellence. However, the design received a significant amount of criticism for its lack of cohesion and the fact that the tulip imagery appeared to be disconnected from the airline's identity. The blue tulip livery was eventually retired in favor of a more streamlined design, but it remains a case study in how a seemingly innocent design can fail to resonate with the public. 3. Austrian Airlines Skull and Crossbones Livery, 2011. Austrian Airlines made headlines in 2011 when it introduced a controversial livery featuring a skull and crossbones motif as part of a special edition design for its aircraft. The livery was created to commemorate the airline's 100th anniversary and was intended to reflect its rebellious, adventurous spirit. However, the design quickly faced criticism for being in poor taste, with many passengers and critics accusing the airline of glamorizing death and violence. 2. American Airlines Retro Livery, 2013. In 2013, American Airlines introduced a retro livery to celebrate its heritage, featuring a silver fuselage with a large, bold red, white, and blue stripe running across the body of the plane. While many fans of the airline appreciated the nostalgic throwback to its former designs, the livery received a fair amount of criticism for appearing outdated and overly busy. Some critics argued that the retro design didn't reflect the modern, forward-thinking direction that American Airlines was trying to promote as part of its post-merger identity with U.S. Airways. 1. Pacific Southwest Airlines, PSA. Smiling Plane Livery, 1970s. Perhaps the most controversial livery in aviation history, Pacific Southwest Airlines, PSA, introduced a smiling plane design in the 1970s, which featured a large smiling face painted on the nose of its aircraft. The livery was meant to convey friendliness and approachability, with the idea that the airline wanted to be perceived as fun and welcoming. However, the smiling face quickly became a source of ridicule, with critics describing the design as childish and in poor taste. The design was eventually retired, but it remains one of the most memorable and controversial liveries in aviation history, symbolizing the risks involved in trying to convey a brand's personality through graphic design. What do you think of our video? Let me know in the comment section below. Also subscribe to our channel before you go. Thanks for watching.